Hey everyone, if this is your first time, I'm Kyle.
And I'm Michelle, and we're the One Ring Shores.
So we are at the end of November now, and it's time to do our expenses for that month. As you can see, as we always do, we try to pick out a pretty unique and cool spot to do these videos at. And welcome to the Imperial Sand Dunes. We're excited to...
I bet you thought we were on a beach today.
Yeah. We're no beach. We're very far from the ocean, folks. Very far, but we're really close to the sand, as you can see. Lots of cool sand. So we change up how we do things, but what we're going to do this month is we're going to go through November's expenses, and we're going to compare them to the last 6 months. Now, as anybody who has any type of experience with numbers knows that as you move forward in the year, your last 6 months changes. So our last 6 month totals are going to be a little bit different than they were last month because it calculated in last month and it's calculating in now November. So we can get started. We got our little cheat sheet. Sorry to have this as a distraction, but we're going to go through, and first item is our expenses for the month of November on medical.
Yep, our medical expenses were $34.34.
And our 6 month average?
$27.61.
Those costs never really change, folks. It's got some cancer insurance, some health insurance, and periodically we get some medicines that Michelle or I take. But other than that, our medical expenses don't really change. So nothing's significant there. $7 more this month, but actually the $34 is kind of the average every month, here recently. So next, utilities.
$114.59.
Yeah. And our 6 month average?
6 month average is $99.58.
So a little bit of a tick up there, about $15 worth. That primarily is the accounting for propane, because we were up in Bryce Canyon and it was extremely cold. We were running our air conditioner, our furnace, when it was working as much as we needed to. Mm-hmm. So a lot of that expense of $15, which is pretty insignificant in utilities, really is accounted for with our extra propane we had to get last month. Lodging and travel.
Lodging and travel for the month of November is $0.
Got you looking.
And then for the last 6 months average, it's $190.54.
Yeah, you guys know we boondock primarily. So I think that's 2 months in a row where our lodging and travel expenses, which includes airlines and stuff, has been $0. So that's what it normally always is. We've had a few freak situations where we've had to stay in areas longer than we expected or had to get campgrounds because we had to turn in our truck to get work done. But yeah, travel expenses are usually very low. And again, this month it's $0. Dining?
Yep, dining/entertainment for the month of November, we spent $41.90. And then the 6 month average is $97.61.
Yeah.
And I will say our trips to Pizza Hut have declined.
Yeah, we were in places that didn't so much have Pizza Huts anymore. So we have not been spending much money on dining and entertainment. We usually don't, but yeah, $41 versus an average of about $100.
For business, for the month of November, we spent
$373.10.
Yep.
And for the 6 month average?
$656.03.
Yeah, so our business expenses have gone down. We didn't run as many ads in the month of November. Actually, I don't think we ran any. I think I had to pay for one that was retroactive actually to October. But yeah, so we didn't really run much there on business expenses. Obviously, a couple months in a row, we've been making some big upgrades, and we'll talk about that here in the next segment as well on our next item. But yeah, so our business expenses were about $375, normally about $650, so double savings there.
Mm-hmm. For home/household/pet expenses for November, we spent $816.39. And over the last 6 months, $454.83.
Yeah, so we're almost double on that expense. I will say about $320 of that was from a very unexpected expense that you're going to see this coming Sunday on our video. So be sure you check that out. We had to purchase something that we did not anticipate having to purchase, which, happens in life. But this was, it it could have been a really bad situation had things not gone, I guess, the way they went. We got very, very lucky in 2 separate occasions related to the same type of thing. So please check out our video on Sunday and we'll tell you more about that. But that accounts for like $320 of that household expense / home repair. Michelle's she's yawning a little bit. She's tired now.
No,
you know, she just got up like
I thought I was
like a half an hour ago.
I thought I was gonna sneeze.
It's 3:30 or it's 2:30 in the afternoon. She just got up a half hour ago.
Hey, everybody needs their nap. But I was gonna sneeze.
Groceries.
For groceries, we spent $920.65, and the 6-month average we spent $812.46.
Yeah, so we spent about $80 more. We were in a smaller town, that could account for some of it, but they also had some great deals on sodas, so we have stocked up for the foreseeable future. So, you know, yep. Sean and Lauren, if you're out there, you know that we spend some money on Mountain Dews and not Bitcoins. But yeah, so we spent $920 last month. That's always average about $850.
All right, so is that
auto? Yep.
For fuel last month, we spent $380.19. For the last 6-month average, it was $443.61.
Yeah, so we spent about $60 less in fuel, so that's good. We didn't travel quite as much as we have over the last 6 months when we were hightailing it out from the Midwest, out west, and then south.
And for auto service, we spent $126.22.
That was an oil change on the on the FJ. That's our old car, on the Ram.
And then our 6-month average was $1,470.89.
Yeah, so as you guys know, if you've been around here a while, we've been spending a lot on fixing up the truck. And as you can see there from the 6-month average, we average about almost $1,500 a month. And so coming in at $126, we'll take it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then our totals, our monthly total for November 2024 is...
Yeah, the drum roll. $2,862.38.
And our 6-month average per month, Michelle?
$4,421.92.
That's it, folks. Can you believe it? We stayed at a pretty good budget for the month of November. $2,800 is kind of right on where we want to be. Obviously, we've been spending way more than that over the last 6 months. Some of the things that we've done have helped, you know, being able to stay longer in boondocking spots, not pay as much for campgrounds, hopefully keep the truck running well, has really helped. So we hope this is helpful for everyone. Again, we do this every month. We've been doing it since the month of June. I think June was the first month that we may have done our expenses for. But we're going to be back in the beginning of January from a new location to talk about the December expenses. And Michelle, what should everyone do?
We would love it if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It is free to subscribe, and leave us a comment if you have any questions.
See you Sunday, guys.